The greatest benefit of soul travel is the recognition of the greater self, which would ultimately lead to self-realization in this or another lifetime. My name is Greg Doyle and I grew up in country Victoria in the 1960s. In 1985 I graduated from the Victorian College of the Arts with a Diploma of Arts in Music. I headed over to Europe in 1991 and spent the next year or so studying conducting at the University for Music and Performing Arts in Vienna. After a short visit home to Australia in 1998, I made the hard decision to return to Vienna to ignite my slumbering conducting career. But on my return, I found myself in the midst of several personal issues of my own making. A relationship that had passed its expiry date, my dreams inundated with visions of a different future, and a series of medical emergencies. In hindsight, it was obvious that something had to change, including me. A good friend at the time, and now my wife, Bonnie, helped me to turn things around. She suggested that I visit a psychotherapist. After a few sessions, I was able to see my truer path. I ended my relationship, turned to the practice of meditation, and soon after, I had my first soul travel experience. While everyone has the ability to project their astral body into the astral planes, humanity didn't lose this ability. What we lost was the knowledge of how to practice this metaphysical art. To provide a clearer picture of how this happened, let's discuss some pivotal historical figures and events. It's well known that Egyptian priests practiced soul travel as part of their initiations in preparation for the afterlife. Plato, the philosopher in 375 BC, in his best-known work, The Republic, described soul travel as a metaphor within his work, The Allegory of the Cave. Everything changed in the 12th century, however, when groups within the Catholic Church began to hunt out metaphysical knowledge and declared all who practiced these arts to be heretics. To ensure that this knowledge would survive, a religious military group was established, the Knights Templar. For a period of 300 years, now known as the Dark Ages, metaphysical knowledge was successfully suppressed by groups within the Catholic Church. These groups used torture and violence to control the masses through fear. Thanks to Western Schism, several popular uprisings across Europe, and the plague, the Dark Ages came to an end in the mid-15th century. The most prolific astral projector would have to be Edgar Cayce, the sleeping prophet. Cayce throughout his life used hypnosis to access the astral planes, returning with information which he dispensed daily.
My first session with Greg was really amazing. I was so relaxed and at peace throughout the entire session, but about 10 minutes into it, I felt this wave-like sensation throughout my body, which kept getting stronger and stronger.
I felt my body lift at one point off the mat. It was a little scary, but the meditation that Greg was sharing seemed to focus a lot of the energy right here.
I'm not sure if this is astral travel, but when I wake, I remember I've been somewhere different with other people. Some of them I think I've known before. I've started to meditate now on a daily basis just to see if I can control any astral travel that I might take.
I'm really glad I attended the astral projection workshop. It's opened my eyes to a whole new world of possibilities.
I woke up suddenly in the early hours of the morning to find a bright white light entering my forehead and waking up my mind. And it was quite bizarre. It was like a pulsating white light, and I was fully conscious and knew that my body was asleep. What happened was that it seemed to flood into my heart, and really with this very loving feeling in my heart, so I wasn't afraid. There were these triangles of light that seemed to come together behind my eyelids. And these all came into this circle of light that got stronger and stronger. And then, before I knew it, there was the feeling of a question being asked non-verbally. It was the feeling of, do you want to come with me? And I thought, yep, let's go. Next thing I know, I was going down this tunnel. And I'd never heard the expression wormhole, but later on I was to hear about that kind of stuff. I go down this tunnel, a lot of wind in my ears as I'm moving, and it's often called the astral wind. And at the end of this tunnel, I'm in this very clear atmosphere of, it's like a desert planet. There's all these towers and very, very ultra-modern buildings, like very tall structures with disc-shaped buildings on top and the headlights, and it looked very high-tech and very non-earthly. And I was just so fascinated because it was ultra-real, ultra-realistic, and it was not Earth. And I remember viewing this scene from this perspective and knowing that somehow there are others. That was the feeling that was given to me, that there are others that exist, even though this wasn't a question I'd been wrestling with. And it also felt like home, which was the bizarre thing. It had a feeling of home. And I remember coming back from the experience with these tears of ecstasy, thinking, what on earth was that?